Hi guys, and welcome to another episode. Today we're pushing on with the main story. Yesterday we learnt a little bit more about the Vizier and why all that stuff happened at Or that we heard about in Prophecies. There's still more to learn on that subject, and there will be a quest we're doing on that later. But for now, all we really need to know is that he was corrupted by Abaddon, and that had some part in why he destroyed the whole place. But this time we're going to be continuing, as I said. We're going to speak to Ramor, but we're also going to speak to this guy, because you can kind of do the quest at the same time, so I figure why not. So the apostate says, "If you would indulge me, I would proffer a trade. My knowledge for your protection. I have turned from Abaddon's path due to certain knowledge that I have acquired. Because of this, I've become hated among my old allies, and even now I am hunted. Travel is nigh impossible, yet I must return to my writings, as they are all I have left in this place. Please accompany me through the domain of fear while I retrieve them. Will you protect me?" Okay, so we're going to learn something. He's going to tell us something. Hopefully something about defeating Abaddon. And yeah, we're moving into the next domain. We've seen Nightfall and Jahai. We've been in the first domain, the domain of pain. And now once we get through this gate, we're going to be going deeper into the domain of fear. And yeah, there's lots of spider webs and stuff. And this episode, and lots of kind of giant insects and things. And there are a lot of hints to do with maybe Abaddon's the god before Abaddon, and that's kind of all related to these spiders in some way, which I'll be talking about as we go through. Anyway, let's get the primary quest as well. Ramor, from Ramor. Cormyr is sending scouts out to search for anything we can use in our coming battle. Perhaps something from the five gods themselves. Yeah, because this is our plan. We want to get the five gods to help us. They fought Abaddon before, didn't they? I can't imagine how she plans to defeat Abaddon if we don't get some supernatural help. You should go speak with Cormyr to find out what we should do next. Be careful though, I heard one of Abaddon's most powerful generals sent troops to search for you. Oh, brilliant. Okay, so one of his generals is sending troops for us. Thank you for the information. I'll go talk with Cormyr. Right, so let's go on through out into the domain of fear, guys. Hello, tormented soul. We who walk these dark paths, blah, blah, blah. I think I might have already seen all that dialogue from them. Right, so the domain of fear. We get another effect on us as we have before. This effect is called Cower in Fear. While we're here, we all move, attack, and activate skills 15% slower. And it's very dark here, very dark indeed. And you get these kind of giant legs and insect things all over the place, sort of reaching out over everything, which we'll be seeing a lot of as we go through this kind of dark area. And here's Cormyr, and she's got 2 scouts. To have any hope of defeating Abaddon, we must find and wield something of great power against him. Perhaps some artifact from the first war between the gods. That is where you come in. I need you scouts to search for anything that might be useful to us. Some sign of the influence the 5 gods had on this place, or any powerful artifacts we can wield in the coming battle. Go now, find what you can, and may the gods be with you. Right, so are they going to run off? Yes, they are. Okay, so 2 of the scouts are running off. So she's got scouts and everything here. She's like amassed a bit of a force. Ah, Map Greenspring, there you are. Hello. I can see you're busy, Cormyr. I've just sent my scouts out. With any luck, they will be able to find something we can use against Abaddon. But the more eyes, the better, hey? Come with me, we'll search as well. There is an area none of my scouts have ever searched. Be on your guard for trouble, though. If there is any power here we can use, Abaddon will certainly try to keep us from finding it. Yes, Journey of Life is taken with best company. We have won a significant victory here, but the battle ahead of us will be much more difficult. To have any hope of defeating Abaddon, we may need the power of the gods themselves. None of my scouts have travelled this far into the realm of Torment, so we are at a disadvantage. But we must press on. This crusade for ancient power of the gods is our only hope. I really like this idea of like going into uncharted territory. It's not entirely uncharted. The Forgotten have actually been through, and I believe to an extent maybe the Order of Whispers. But as far as we're concerned, Cormyr and her troops, we have no idea what to expect. You get these kind of big rolling plains here at the start with these, like I said, I love these giant legs. They're just so cool, aren't they? You really don't get a very good sense of their scale if you spend the whole game zoomed out like this. But if you're actually in first person, you really can see how huge they are. These plains are quite dangerous, which is why I'm a little bit scared. Because there's lots of patrols all over the place of these torment creatures. And it's very easy to run into them. I believe we're going over there under that thing. And as we go through this place, actually, this is the first real explorable area. Okay, so there's some guys here we should kill. This is the first real explorable area where we're going to be seeing a lot of things that I can elaborate on by using information from the guildwars.dat, which will be pretty good. So that's them dealt with. Let's press U. I want to see exactly where we're going. Okay, we're going over here. Oh yeah, the apostate as well. Where's he? The apostate. Escort the apostate while he retrieves his writings. Is he with us? I can't quite see him. Where? Oh, sorry. The apostate's back at the entrance. Sorry, apostate. Let's run back and get him. Here he is. Oh, and there was a forgotten here as well. I probably should have spoken to. Hate to leave you there like that. Greetings, fellow heretic. Ah, you're here. Let us be off then. Okay, right. With each laboured breath, blah, blah, blah. After what they did in Vabi, we'll kill them all. Okay, so here we can see some things called Shiroken necromancers. Now, we were told just before we left that one of Abaddon's most powerful generals is sending troops after us. And before we heard that Shiro Togachi is possibly down here. And now we're seeing Shiroken. If you guys have seen Factions Let's Play or played Factions or have any idea what Factions is about, you'll know that these are Shiro Togachi's troops. So we're getting more and more hints that Shiro is down here. And in fact, we will eventually see him. If you remember, right at the end of Factions, when we defeated Shiro, the envoys came to us and they said that they'd reserved a special place in the afterlife for Shiro for his crimes. That special place, as it turns out, is here. Now, maybe the envoys didn't realise that Abaddon had kind of corrupted everything and they still thought it was a decent prison for criminals. Maybe that's why the Lich is here as well. But in any case, Shiro has come here, and Abaddon has pretty much given him free reign over the area. So he's sending his troops after us now. It's quite cool. I like this because, you know, you can play Nightfall and never have played Factions and just see these new enemies and be like, oh, they look quite cool, and not really know anything more. But you don't need to know anything more. But if you've played Factions, then of course you learn a hell of a lot more about what's going on. Look at all those demons there. Hopefully I can slip past them. Please let me slip past them. They're not. They're going to see me, aren't they? They're going to see me. Oh, and a Torment Claw. No, 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 no. Fuck, they've seen me. I love the sound effects here as well. Can you guys hear that? Just that wind whistling past. I think they do very well at making this kind of scary, scary place. Right, okay, so the apostate's just ahead. I saw that Marganite, I was like, oh, there's another group, but no, it was just Marganite. Okay, I don't like how slow we move here. Oh, and another Torment Claw. So this is another thing we'll be seeing. Before we haven't really seen too many Torment Claws, if you've noticed. They've mostly just been in missions. But through the realm of Torment, now that we're deeper in it, Abaddon can just kind of send these things up whenever the hell he wants. More Shiroken here. In fact, one thing I never realised for a very, very long time is if you actually come back here without the quest, this primary quest on, none of these Shiroken are here. They're only here for this first, for the actual quest. And this whole area we're in now actually is devoid of enemies, which is quite good if you ever do decide to come back. Speaking of this area that we're in now, looks pretty crazy, doesn't it? Lots of these giant kind of, they look like Torment Claws, but they're not. These are actually spider legs, okay? Now, as I've said before, everything we learn in the Guild Wars.dat hasn't been officially confirmed by ArenaNet, so you could take it as canon or you couldn't. Nobody's quite sure whether it is canon. But it's got a lot of very cool things to say about this. This place, you could just walk through and think it looks cool. But in the Guild Wars.dat, this is actually described as being called the Veil of Shadows. Okay? And in the description of the Veil of Shadows, it is described as a wide, broad plain crossed with swaying shadows. Looking up, the shadows are from great arachnid legs. Okay, so remember that, because a lot of these Guild Wars.dat in this area, and particularly there's one other area which I'm not going to show you, but I'll talk about, constantly talk about pretty much giant, evil, horrible spiders. And in the end, one of them actually gets a name, and it's all to do with the god before Abaddon. And like I said, maybe this isn't canon, but it is very, very interesting, I think, and I never realised anything about it for a very long time. And what the hell is that? Look, there's like insect eyes all over it. The other thing I love in this area is how everything's kind of greyed out. You notice like how all of the backgrounds look kind of black and white. Obviously all the skill effects and we're all in colour, but everything's kind of all greyed out and dark and horrible, and all the colour's been drained out. It's really quite cool. It's a bit like that place in the Desolation actually. I like how the apostate's just kind of ahead of us, leading us through. None of the Shiroken are attacking him, thankfully. Oh, and there's a chest. And I stupidly missed that chest in the last episode. But there's this chest, and I've noticed it, guys. So I will get it. Do you know what? I've probably ran past one already on this episode, haven't I? If I have, tell me in the comments. I'd like to see it. It's funny because sometimes I don't even notice it when I'm editing. And then you guys point it all out. But here we go. Let's open the chest. I love the way the Marganite keys look, by the way. Right, use key. Hey, we got a gold item. We got an idol. Sweet. Okay, so now we're in another big kind of open area with more legs stretching out from it. It's almost like if a spider was dead, if you look at the way this looks, right? If a spider was dead and it was rolled up on its back, it's kind of like we're crawling around on its abdomen right now, isn't it? And the Guild Wars does elaborate, okay? It says that this is the Arachnia Plateau. Arachnia. A field of soft, leathery soil broken up into rolling plates, like the palm of one's hand or the underbelly of a spider. It says that it gives only slightly when you walk on it and makes a soft sighing noise. I love that comment there about how it makes a soft sighing noise when you walk on it. Obviously, that's the kind of thing that they could never really get across to players in the actual game. But just having it written there, it really does make it sound kind of terrifying, doesn't it? Like all of the lands around here are alive in some way. And indeed, later on in the Realm of Torment, we will see massive eyes and stuff sort of watching you through the walls and just all this kind of freaky stuff. Is Corey dead again? For God's sake. Ah, stupid flamingo. Alright. So this is the Arachnia Plateau. And remember the name Arachnia, because they hint at Arachnia being Abaddon's predecessor. Right, so let's move across the Arachnia Plateau. Where's the apostate? I think I've lost the apostate. Oh, no, he's there. Okay. Even more Shiroken. I love how in the Realm of Torment you get so many like different armies. You've got the Titans, you've got the Shiroken, you've got the Shadow Army, you've got the Minions of Doom like the Terrorwebs and stuff. You've got the Torment creatures, you've got the Marganites. There's just so many different things. You've got the Monoliths. And then you've got the good guys as well. You've got the Forgottener down here. You've got us. You've got Cormier's people. You've got the Order of Whispers. I mean, it's just there's so much going on here. And if you just go through the main story, this chapter is actually really quite short, and you can miss a lot of stuff. Right, okay, moving on. And now we've actually come to the end of both quests, I believe. The apostate will come here and loads of Marganites are going to spawn and try and kill him. If I remember correctly. And then he'll trade his knowledge with us. Oh, he's going further past. By the way, this kind of random portal here going to that red thing I'll talk about in a minute. Where is the apostate going? Oh, here we go. So here are the Marganites. Marganite Stalker, Bowmaster. Ah, you finally arrive. Misguided as you are, at least your sense of preservance. Oh, I missed it. On the contrary, any such nonsense spouted against our Lord is of concern to me. And now that... Oh my God, they're speaking so fast. Guys, pause it if you want to read this. Silence, you've said enough. Such blasphemies against our Lord cannot go unpunished. You know the penalty of such sacrilegious utterances. I've not come to discuss the matter with you. I'm here to end this. The apostate was talking as well. Sorry, there was no way I could do that. I will mark your grave with a tree grown in heart's blood. Was that Maloney who just said that? God. Right, so there we go. This is the apostate. We've helped him out. Apparently his writings are around here. And we can now speak to him about whatever knowledge this is he has for us. He says, "Thank you for protecting me and for your help. I shall now fulfill my end of the bargain. You may have wondered why I was being chased so vehemently by Abaddon's hunters, and I believe it is as simple as this. I do not believe Abaddon to be an eternal god. There were other gods before him, before he was imprisoned here, and I believe that while the power he uses cannot be destroyed, he may be supplanted as he supplanted his predecessor. Use this knowledge to your benefit." Right, so we kind of already could have figured this out, but this is quite an explicit way of telling players gods can be supplanted. Obviously, we've been hearing a lot about Doom in here, and Doom was Grenth's predecessor, and Grenth came along, overthrew Doom, and took his place. So gods do kind of shift about. We haven't seen it happen very much. In fact, Doom is like the only example of we've got of that ever happening. But now the apostate, is talking about Grenth perhaps having Abaddon, sorry, perhaps having someone come before him. And at the same time as we learn about that from that quest, we're walking around all this area here with these hints in the Guild Wars.dat and these horrible big claws and stuff, like we're underneath a spider right now. And these things talking about this character Arachnia. As I said, we don't know whether it's canon, but there's also another place in the realm of Torment called the Harvestman's Lair, okay? And we're not actually going to go to it because I've got to kind of figure out where all of these things are. Oh, Cormier says, I've never seen this before. Perhaps we'll find what we're looking for on the other side. Here she's talking about this portal that apparently goes to nothing. And yeah, there's this other place called the Harvestman Lair, and you kind of go and there's all these big cobwebs and stuff. And it's described in the Guild Wars.dat as a flooded cavern filled with the remains of the gods of insectoid beings. No native spiders are ever seen, but there is a scurry of thin legs in the area, and something has made all of those webs. So there are these hints about a previous god, Arachnia, perhaps of being a god before Abaddon. And indeed, the last thing from the Guild Wars.dat, if you think of us still as being like on the underbelly of a spider right now, this area here with the portal is kind of right in the middle, isn't it? And in fact, this red glow here is also described. It's called the spider's heart, okay? And it says that it's a glowing radiance of evil at the heart of Arachnia. It is said to be the remains of a now dead spider god, older than Abaddon and the 5 true gods themselves. So, I mean, make it of it what you will. It's only been found, this information, in the Guild Wars.dat. May not be canon, but I like to think it could be. I mean, this is pretty cool, don't you think? And it's here in the game, there's just no description. I mean, if you think of things like oh, there's another waterfall over there, have you seen that? And there's like these crazy things up here as well that look like insects. It's very weird. Anyway, at the spider's heart, you actually go into the portal. Don't know how many players actually notice that this looks like a dead end, but somehow, through the magic of the mists, we end up at this place called the Gate of Secrets. It kind of just warps us through. Okay, this is the third to last outpost we'll ever be at. Now, the Gate of Secrets, you might have guessed, we found the Gate of Fear, went through the Gate of Fear into the Domain of Fear. Now we're at the Gate of Secrets. Yeah, the next domain is the Domain of Secrets, and it's in the Domain of Secrets, guys, that most of our answers will start to come. And there's some pretty cool stuff around there. But before we look at that, we've had these hints, a couple of hints now, about Shiro being about. If we go back up to the Gate of Fear, there was this person, this Imperial guard guy, who we can now speak to. I feel safe speaking to about Shiro, and this person is going to teach us pretty much, I think these two quests teach us pretty much everything about why Shiro is here. I've got some ideas about why the envoy sent him here and stuff, so we will be speaking to him in the next episode, and then continuing on hopefully, because these quests aren't particularly long, so we can do that and continue with the main quest in the next episode. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this one, guys, a little bit short at long last, and I will see you next time.